everybody, my name is Lauren Wood and I'm at the beach this week, so hence the crazy hair, but I wanted to go ahead and knock this video out of the way. This is my very first video ever, so I hope you enjoy. My earliest career interest was fashion design. I remember being 7 or 8 years old and having these little etch-a-sketches, little things where I could outline the bodies and draw and color in and create different outfits. I was like, maybe that would be kind of cool. And then reality set in that I'd have to be pretty unique or live in a large city for that to happen. So as I got into high school, I was interested in exercise physiology, which I think that's probably important if you know how to spell that word, and I'm not the greatest speller, so I think that kind of brought reality back into that might not be the path that I need to go down. Once I graduated high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do or anything like that. I just knew that I wanted to go to college. So, with the help of a very sweet gentleman, Larry Nossinger, I started my freshman year at Kentucky Wesleyan College in Owensboro. I was very active in the radio there, also the yearbook and the little newspaper that we had, a sorority, being the treasurer of that, just being super involved, and I think that helped me decide that I was going to go into communications. And at the time, that was probably the easiest degree. I was focusing on cheerleading and my boyfriend and different things. So I think those were the influences at the time that I just decided that I would go for that easy major. So I graduated in 3.5 years with a bachelor's in communication arts. Yeah, that's what it was. Public relations and advertising. And so when I graduated, I said, what in the world am I going to do with that? Once again, needing to live in a larger city to be super successful with that. So I stayed in Owensboro and got a job from there. I'll go into my work experience here in a little while too. I'll try to follow Dr. Brogan's itinerary that he gave us. So some influences in my life, of course, my parents. My dad is a real estate appraiser, and my mom was an elementary teacher for 32 years. And she only retired because my dad moved with his job. Farm Credit is who he works for now. So they have always worked super hard my entire life, and I knew that having a job and a career to be able to provide for a family was super important. The lighting's really dark in here. Like I said, I'm in my condo. I don't really know what works. Okay. I always, I was talking about the success of my family, but my mom's siblings were very successful. Lawyers, CPA, and I felt like I needed to be successful like that too. But, always the pressure of trying to be the best. That's always been one of my downfalls. Is I always like to have that A. I have to have that A+. I need to go and try to be the best, even though sometimes I fall a little short. So my work experience, reflecting back on this, I laughed a lot because my very first job was at Curves, the workout place. I don't know if it's even still around or not, but my best friend, her mom owned the franchise, so I would work after school a couple hours and help measure the ladies on their sizes and their success and play music and clean the equipment and everything. I don't even remember how long I lasted, but I do remember when I did my taxes that year, I made $700, so it was short-lived. After that, that was my only job during high school. My first 2 years of college, I was fortunate. My parents said, no, focus on your academics. There's no need for a job. But the summer after my sophomore year, I came home and I got a job as a prep cook. in a local pizza place. And man, was that an experience in itself. I had to get there super early. I mean, I did everything. I made the special sauce. It was so special. Here, I keep doing these, but it was really special that the boss had to come in and mix those special ingredients. I never, or still to this day, don't know what kind of special ingredients those are. I learned a lot about that and about myself too. I ended up spilling drinks all over detectives that came in, like they were once a week or so. That happened earlier in the summer, so every single time that they came in, they let me know that, "Woo, stay back, she's going to spill drinks on us." So, yeah, it was best if I just stayed back in the back, cooking and prepping and things like that. Also, one time in the big freezer, I knocked over a huge container of ranch dressing. I really thought I was going to get fired at that point, but he said at the end, he was like, "You can come back anytime." I was like, "Phew, I'm so glad that this was just a summer job and not a career." Being in a restaurant's not for me. I did know that. So, starting my junior year of college, I needed an internship for my communications degree. And I was very fortunate to find a paid internship. And so this would have been like 2002, 2003. And I was getting paid $8.50. And I was like, yes, I'm going to be rich. My job was to take in orders for uniforms and key those in and everything. And it was exciting, I guess. Actually, I stayed there for a year and a half, and once I graduated, they offered me a full-time job, but I had my eye on something else. I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do at that point either. Is this thing on mute this whole time? Is that what that means? I really hope that it's recording. Oh. Okay, so I graduated a semester early from KWC, and that December, I knew that I wanted to stay in Owensboro because that's where all my friends were, and my parents had already moved from my hometown, so I didn't really have a home anymore. I was enjoying Owensboro, a bigger city than what I'm used to. So I applied for an admissions counselor at Kentucky Wesleyan. And it wasn't the greatest pay, but it was such a great experience. I got to travel all around high schools and college fairs and different things, talking about a college that I enjoyed so much. And I met a lot of people along the way, and that's when I found out what I really wanted to be. I would go into high schools, and I would meet with guidance counselors and talk to them about what I could offer them. And in return, I saw them interacting with students and helping them prepare for their future. And I was like, this is what I want to do. So I'm pretty sure I remember calling up my parents and saying, hey, you know what? I am going to go back and get my master's. And my mom was like, I told you, education, you just don't need to get involved. It's changing. The politics, just stay out of it. Do not become a teacher. And I was like, Mom, I'm not going to become a teacher. I'm going to be a guidance counselor. And like I said, I was pretty fortunate that they helped pay for my first degree, my bachelor's. So I was on my own for my master's. So I quickly learned that I only could afford about one class at a time. But during this time also, I had gotten married to my high school sweetheart, and he had gotten a job as a school teacher back in our hometown, and we had been doing the long distance thing for like a year or so, and he finally asked me to marry him, and I said, oh my gosh, I have to move back to Madisonville. Boo! So of course, I said, sure, honey. And I thought that I would drive back and forth to Owensboro. That lasted 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I said, I'm not doing that anymore. So I applied. I got on Career Monsters or one of those things on the internet and started just applying for jobs. And the very first person that called me was U.S. Bank. And it's like, hey, I bank with these people. Why not? Let's go see what this is about. So I was hired as a float banker. So I traveled around like the Hopkinsville, Madisonville area if someone called in sick or if it was a holiday or something like that. So every morning I would wake up and not really know what branch I was going to go to. And this helped me network so well too. I met people from every single branch. I got to go back to Owensboro some. I even went to Bowling Green a little bit with all the trainings. And they did a really good job of training too, like tons of training all the time. So I learned the ropes and I advanced and became assistant manager within about a year or so. And I stayed in that position for a while and then I actually moved up to branch manager. And, yeah, I lasted 11 months being the boss. And something that I always remember them saying is, it's important to be a leader, not a boss. And I think I tried to keep all my employees as friends, and it was really hard to correct them when they would make mistakes or if they were coming in late, or Snapchat was something new then, okay? And I constantly had to say, put your phones away, guys. It's not time. So it just was, So during the entire time that I'm at U.S. Bank, I'm working on my master's in school counseling through Murray at Madisonville. And I was so fortunate then too because I never went to Murray except for once, and that was to take my comps. And so I had all my classes either at Madisonville or a couple online. So that was really, really awesome. So something else that I wanted to mention that I wrote in my notes is at U.S. Bank, that's where I fell in love with nonprofits. And I was super involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, like Bowl for Kids' Sake, Relay for Life. I joined the committee. I was on the chair. I was like doing all kinds of fun stuff with that. And then also Day of Caring with United Way. So it was just a great experience to get my feet wet with that too, and met so many people. So once I finished my degree, I applied for a counseling position at my old high school, and I got the job, and it was so exciting. So currently I am a high school counselor at Hopkins County Central High School, and this will be my 5th year. It's gone by so fast, and it's been so rewarding. So I just noticed how much I've talked. So limiting factors, I'm always fearful that I'm not going to be good enough, that I'm going to hurt someone's feelings, that I'm going to say something and they're going to interpret it wrong. And I think that comes with my counseling experience too, is that my empathy for people and trying to put myself in their shoes, it's challenging a lot. Also, throughout my journey, working hard. Hard work is what it takes. You can't just expect it to fall in your lap, or it's helpful to know people too, but at the same time, you have to work hard for yourself and achieve it on your own. And you have to put yourself out there. You can't be fearful, and I'm still trying to get over that quite a bit. So, my first year as a guidance counselor was so exciting and scary and very sad. I lost 3 students during my first year. 2 were to suicide, and 1 was in a car accident. You cannot imagine the impact that had on our students and our school, our community, just everything by losing those students. And it was very, 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 very challenging. And I thought, I'm not prepared for this. I don't even know what to say to these families, to my students. So I just cried with them. Every time they came down, I just would cry with them too, and we'd share stories and just, think about the good times that we had with them, but also just to quit making everything so taboo. And from there, it was an open door. Like, they knew, come to Miss Wood's office, let's chat. I'm having a bad day, I'm being bullied, my boyfriend broke up with me. It didn't matter. Come see me. We're going to chat it out. We're going to talk about it for sure. This thing is telling me I only have 15 minutes, so I need to hurry up. So now I am in my internship, and I'm